To enjoy this and other great episodes on Patreon, check out the link in the description and subscribe via the Black Kluge tier for full access to over 100 exclusive episodes. For those of you who would like some QF swag on Teepublic, t-shirts, magnets, mugs, what have you, also click on the link in the description.
I can't tell you how many times I've helped Jan out. And Jan, don't invite me to your apartment anymore, cocksucker. Your big fag parties. Motherfucker sitting there with his goddamn caterer. I'm done with you. Fucknut.
Oh,
no. Well, guess what? Jan, I'm never having sex with you. With your handsome boyfriend.
I've entertained your children.
Hey, Vinny, how am I like her?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. I mean, shame on you.
This is like that Kennedy.
Spy on you.
You're both divorced.
Okay.
You're both living apart from your kids. You both had 3 kids.
Yeah.
You're both talking to a microphone.
Yeah.
You were both in your 40s. She was in her 40s. You're rich now. You both battled CBS over money. Okay. You were both mentally abused by parents.
Yeah.
Both of you see psychiatrists.
Oh, psychoanalysis.
I've only been there 3 years.
I hope you don't get as much out of it as she did.
Yeah.
I think both of you like your wine. Both of you could play sports.
Yeah.
Judy hung with gays and you hung out with Ralph.
Howard, you of all people who treat people like shit after they give you a gift?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? You know what I do? I have a special book. I open.
Dude, you didn't even touch it. You haven't. You my $1,200 Neil Young gift that you.
No, I told you. I knew you gave it to me.
No, bullshit. You're the worst for gifts.
Did I write you a note?
Howard,
Did I write you a
bullshit times where you're trying to fuck with me.
No.
You are the rudest gift receiver of all fucking time.
I have a book. No, on the air we
Fuck
sit.
you.
We have
$1,200 fucking picture in a storage bin. That you love rubbing in my face.
On the
Go
air.
fuck yourself.
Well, then let me respond to that. On the air, we kid each other, but the fact of the matter is...
this is on the air. I created a new bit, guys.
No, you didn't. Wait a second. Here's what I do. Fuck you. Here's what I do, Artie.
You don't even touch a gift.
Bullshit. I have a book. I write down everyone who gave
Somebody
me
else should do this bit because you're not allowed to. You're the worst gift receiver of all fucking time.
So you're going to keep interrupting me because that's your shtick.
No, that's not my shtick. It's your shtick.
I make
you're
sure
a rude prick with gifts.
No, liar. You're the rude prick. I have a book with everybody's
I know you got me nothing for Christmas. It's you, like everybody else here.
I just spent about 20 grand on your party. Fuck you.
I knew the 20 grand was coming.
Yeah.
We found out.
And he made
Yeah, well, I don't know a guy who's ever left here that has left on a good note, no matter
Sure they have.
Sure they have.
Yeah, like who?
Scott Einziger.
No, Scott Einziger didn't leave.
He left on a great note. We were still friends.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an emergency episode of QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm your host, Phil Moore, a.k.a. Jim Fix, and with us is our man from the boroughs himself, representing Turnbuckle Tabloid, Mr. Jay Santi. How are you, sir?
Right now, I'm going with I hate them both, Jay Santi, because this is. I was surprised that I came across this before you did because you've been somewhat quote unquote dabbling in this universe. I gave up on it a few months ago. I gave up once it became more of a conglomerate of individuals who are coming in to this forum of the buffoonery, which is Stuttering John. But it was almost like Pacino in Godfather 3. It's like, just when I'm out, they pull me back in.
Well, I have to say, well, first of all, in my defense, I woke up to this. Like, I woke up and I got the message. So when it happened, I think is John? I'm not sure. Is he back in New York or is he still in California?
Apparently he's still in Cali because he's talking about that he's doing his substitute teaching. So that's where he had it. He had his licensing before. So I believe he's still out there.
Well, either way, what happened, guys, Chad Zumock, or Zumock, whatever you want to call his name, he hosted a show with, basically he just sat there and let these two retards swing blindly at each other. But John came out, in my opinion, even though I think John's a fucking wet brain, no mind asshole, I hate Shuli even more, and I think they're equally unfunny. But Shuli must have been doped up or must have been just afraid, because he came off incredibly pussy in this whole encounter. So what happened for the longest time, for those of you who don't know, and this is, and because this is a, when I say emergency, we threw this together really quick, and I'm going to get it out really quick because this is just going to be extra content for all of you. If you enjoy what you're hearing, please check us out on Patreon and sub to the Black Kluge level, and you're going to get everything, all the other Howard stuff we normally do. But this was a bonus because we wanted to get it out, in just as soon as we could, because I was fascinated with it. John, for the longest time, had stayed off the internet. Basically, he was teaching, and I thought, good for him. Get a real fucking job and stop podcasting. Get off the booze if you can, which is seemingly impossible. And leave Shuli to his own devices. And it worked. Shuli's subs went from something like 945 to now 640 or something like that. And the best thing Stuttering John could have done was take his content off YouTube.
Then why make why feed the material?
He got paid. I think Chad, supposedly Kevin, Chad, was it Chad or Kevin offered him, I think Kevin did, offered him $3,000 to come on the air.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And for Stuttering John, I don't think he could afford to turn down that money.
Wow. Yeah, because he did it smart. He I believe it was in October, November, he stopped producing content.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that did to his Patreon and such afterwards, but he gave them nothing, and they had to deep dive him like we do here on QF. But at least with us, we have years of material to go with.
Reams.
Yes, exactly. And with John, he only had 3 years, if that, maybe a little bit more, of material, and a lot of that was them having not only business but somewhat personal issues with him. Mm-hmm. And he realized that they were banking on him, because I was there in the early days with who are these podcasts when they were going at him, and it was just, and it was lighthearted. It wasn't really anything amazingly mean when you first heard it. It was just, the silliness that they would do on their podcast. But it wasn't until John became the rebellious one, because he even appeared on their show a few times. They started banking on the fact that he was material for a lot of their shows, and they saw the audience that was growing. What occurred afterwards was that the leeches started attaching themselves to this genre.
Well, one thing that, and this is works against Carl, because I don't have any issues with WATF, because we had something and we squashed it. He mistakenly thought we were going after him, instead of just being observant that they were hinging at that point, before Shuli got in on it. They were hinging on Stuttering John stuff for the YouTube channel. Like all the clips that they show as for a while there, like 90% of their clips were all about them busting on Stuttering John, and yet he claimed, well, we do other things. You wouldn't think so from looking at that. It looked like they were going deep into Stuttering John, as if to say, oh, that's, this is our new bread and butter. And I thought it looked bad. I still wouldn't punch down on John, who was a fucking drunk. And I have a problem going after people with that particular addiction. And it's not me saying I wouldn't goof on him for other reasons, when we've had episodes on the show featuring him, but those are in the past and not what he's like in the present. Then when he went off, you're right, Shuli had to go after like whatever and he actually repeated viewings of the same material for a while, where the people were like, this is the 4th time you played this fucking video, dude. Get some new material. And they realized Shuli was nothing if he wasn't using Stuttering John's material. If you look at the other stuff, if you look at all the other the views of the Shuli show and all those other road stories and all that miserable men nonsense, it gets no hits because no one wanted to hear any of it. Once it was established early on that he wasn't going to divulge anything from his time at the Stern for the most part, no one cared.
Yeah, I like I said early on, I would follow and listen to the earlier episodes because there's no blanketed fucking way that I could say it. I can't stand Stuttering John. For years I've had this loathing for the man, and it goes into the different forums of his, not only his personality but the way he just handles himself in a whole, and the way that he just executes his business and the way he carries himself. It just bothers me. It always bothered me since the early days of Stern. But I thought the same way that you did for some time, where it was like, why attack him? You already know he's really a fucking scumbag leech kind of guy. So why would you even entertain doing business with him? With Shuli, we knew as Stern fans early on that he was just a barnacle that was finding a way to attach himself to something, and Wiggy let him in. And when you found out when he was more of a productive individual in the Stern universe outside of his phone calls, what more can he produce outside of it? So he did what Carl did at Who Are These Podcasts and just basically just piggybacked on it.
Well, Carl was a mark. He was a Stern mark. So he had Shuli on, and he, like, regardless of what people were saying, they're complaining, we don't like him, he's too much on the show now. It's like he had a standing invitation to be on their show, and whatever, that's fine, I suppose, if you want to lose listeners. But you'd be getting people tuning up because Shuli repels people. He actually, yep.
He was, when Artie was gone, he thought that he was the next in line. He swore that was him.
He's gonna pull Excalibur from the stone.
He thought it was gonna be the next. Let's pull the chair out. He thought he was gonna be the next coming of that comedy chair in Stern universe. They gave him a week and he bombed. It was awful. That's when he actually smartened up and said, "You know what? We don't need anybody to sit there anymore."
But yeah, by that point, Shuli didn't even realize that by 2011, even before all this Hurricane Sandy, Howard had already decided no one's going in that chair. We want it that way. And the worst thing was it was almost like he had his mic on a quarter volume compared to Howard's full. And when he came in, it was almost like some ghost in the studio trying to do bits of, I don't know, Stuttering John past. And he was a shittier version of Stuttering John, going back to the back office staff, but no one laughed. Howard didn't laugh. I mean, he would add to Howard's goofing on Gary, but who hasn't heard 1,000 years of goofing on Gary? Come on.
His head-to-head with Gary went flat.
Yep.
The Doug Goodstein argument that occurred, although he may or may not have been in the right on that situation, it made him look bad as well.
Yes.
His Ronnie's block party issues with Scott didn't make him look good as well. Nothing ever went over. And even with the later stuff, which I wasn't listening to at that time, but I would hear the snippets and I would get it on the YouTubes with the stuff with the Whack Pack stuff. Mm-hmm. It still just was someone reaching to be funny, and it just never seemed to click with what Wiggy wanted even at that time. He would have been easier to be accepted if he was just maybe Benji Light, if I can say that, but it still didn't work.
Well, this is so guys, I clipped the show. It's quite a few clips, and we're going to go through it, and you judge for yourselves. But in my opinion, Shuli came off like a complete bitch in this, and we'll go clip by clip. And even if you can't stand Stuttering John, you have to admit he owned him. Now the problem is he's now got the attention, and Len and I discussed this. Our biggest fear was he's going to come back and start recording again and giving Shuli content. Now it's not. I don't think it's going to change Shuli's fortunes. I think the numbers are going to continue to go down because people are fed up with him.
Yeah, he did better when he didn't give them shit. And now him coming back, I think it's going to be a downfall for all of them.
He can't take he got a taste of the attention. School's out now, unfortunately. And the beer, like there's employees at that fucking liquor store wherever he goes to get his beers that are in fear of their lives because they're going to see he's going to be like the next live-in customer with his Budweisers and whatnot. And he looks gray. Like maybe it's just the webcam, but he looks horrible, Stuttering John.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I can have some kind of sympathy for is the fact that he's not doing well. And you can see it. You could even hear it with his decline, because you would think that maybe, just maybe, he would listen to what everybody around him is saying, especially with his following that he had, that I could say at the time. But he just doesn't care. And I could say, honestly, being a listener for such a long time, this is not something that's not new. He's been doing that since the 90s. Mm-hmm. He's never had that epiphany to say, I might want to change. Jackie did it. Yeah. We could probably say that Artie has maybe made that change in recent years and such. And even whoever you can...
Billy West.
Billy had made that change, but... John is one that says he's going to ride or die with it, and he looks really bad coming into this conversation.
Right, and the competition is Shuli, who's no Mr. Universe himself. But either way, we're going to go with clip number 1, guys. Polyglot, meet Xanax.
Shuli, eres mi pera. Shuli, eres mi pera.
Are you speaking Spanish?
First Hebrew and then Spanish. Wow, you're really smart.
Well, the Hebrew is unintelligible. You didn't say whatever you're supposed to say was not.
I looked it up.
What is the look that John is going for? It's almost it's
Prince Valiant.
it's Prince Valiant. Maybe early Roman or like that because he explains it later with the hair. Maybe I think it's on here where he talks about it. It's like he's growing out his hair for his motorcycle look, and it's
do you remember the movie?
Midlife Crisis?
Hold on. Do you remember the movie Throw Mama from the Train?
Everyone loves his mama.
He looks like Mama. I don't even remember her name, but my God.
He does look like Mama.
Oh, it's brutal. Just brutal, guys.
Practiced it. Maybe you can't speak Hebrew.
First of all, let me just say, Chad, thanks for having me on. And thank you to close to 500 people watching
I'm going to use John beer on the balcony set.
Everybody tune in. John, why are you so drunk on a Saturday afternoon? It's so early.
Drunk?
What's going on?
I've had 3 beers. Drunk?
No, listen to you. You're slurring. You're spitting. What's going on?
I'm always spitting. I stutter and I can't feel half my lips. You bald dumb fuck.
He's always stuttering. He's always spitting. He's always drunk.
3 beers. What are you drinking? Kegs? Like,
yes.
What is it? The Australian beer? Was it Molson's? Like, what was it?
Molson's Canadian. You're thinking Foster's or something.
Foster's, yeah, Foster's. He's drinking the Foster's. Is that what we having? Cause shit.
I have no idea, but he does. There's no way it was just 3 beers. I guarantee you.
3 Coronas for me is like a Gatorade. Like, this is just startup for me. It's like, honestly.
Yeah, no kidding. The next one, where bombing meets bombed.
So what are you so angry about, pal? I brought you out of your shell. You should be.
You're not my pal. You're not my pal.
Why?
Don't ever think that you're my friend. Don't ever think you're my friend.
Okay, Shuli's trying to play the troll game right now because when you play more of this, he's playing the troll game, which I'm not sure where on the timeline this occurred. Was this before Carl's show? I think it was after Carl's podcast with John.
That's right.
He tried to play the troll game, and with Carl, at least Carl on who are these podcasts, he went at him directly, and they made some kind of dialogue that was, listenable, right?
Yeah.
Shuli's not doing well with the troll game.
No, and the thing is, Carl's ultimately a Stern Show suck ass. So if Ted the janitor were to somehow reanimate and come alive, he would suck his dick, just like he would suck John's dick. I'm not like that. I don't want Shuli. I never wanted Shuli as an interview because he's not going to give us dick. Stuttering John, like Jackie, will filibuster, drink like a fiend, and say nothing you haven't heard in 1,000 other interviews. Even if we asked him questions that were unique to our show or questions that I thought if he's never been given, he'd still find a way to crowbar these war stories of his, and I'd have to hear about his 2 pensions and writing for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar roast. So those of you out there in Shuli Anonymous land or Dabblerverse land that think I'm siding with one or the other, I think they're both shitheads. But you have to admit by the end of this, I think most people will be on board. It wasn't even Stuttering John's approach of him. Stuttering John was like that fucking 100-meter hurdles runner that knocks down every fucking hurdle on the way, but gets over the finish line. Shuli does a face plant into the first hurdle and never gets back up.
With Shuli, it's like the only reason why I would have had him on Turnbuckle Tabloid is because he's a wrestling fan. So I would have taken that. I remember him bringing a Flat Ronnie to an AEW show. So I thought that was funny. But other than that, like I would have never been able to ask him questions like I did when KC was on the show, because at least KC was somewhat forthcoming with what went on there, which was crazy because I think, and I give myself the I am Mike Sharp pat on the back, because I think KC gave me more on my show than he would have given to anybody. When it came to Stern, he gave up his pay and all that. Shuli would not do that anywhere else. So I would have never even thought about doing that with him.
No.
Wow. You're not. You ran away from me. You ran away from me when I tried to interview. I tried to be your friend. I asked you to buy your beer, and you ran away like a little pussy that you are. Why do you think at all that now we are friends? You did 1,000 shows on me, and yet you think it's all about me. It's all about you. No, it's all about me, you dumb fuck.
Buddy.
Are you stoned right now, Deuce Payer? Are you stoned?
Well, is his water wet? I mean, come on.
Can we multiply the 3 beers by maybe 12? Like, where are we at now?
Yeah.
He's beyond it. Somebody, I saw someone made a comment that this reminded them of when SJ was building up the match with Cabby, and Cabby was doing this kind of promo kind of stuff, wrestling promo stuff, and is trying to sell a possible match or something, which we will probably hear later on. But do you think that this is what is going on here?
Someone had brought that up. Yeah, I can't remember where, in one of the many threads on the Reddit thread, or in the subreddit rather. They're too stupid to be this planned out, the two of them. John, I don't think, has the presence of mind to think that far ahead into the game, and I would be giving them way too much credit. No, I think this is all legit. I think John's just an uncontrollable drunk maniac here. Shuli's unprepared, unarmed, with wit. He's got nothing on his side, and so he's trying to troll by being this calm. John, calm. I'm your buddy, but before long you can realize he has nothing. He came with nothing. And Chad smartly is just kind of standing on the sidelines. Eventually his video goes down and you see him, it's just the two of them. And John, by force of sheer power, is getting the better of Shuli. Like you can tell Shuli's even intimidated and at some points scared. He might spin it another way, but I guarantee you most people are going to see this video the way I did.
Yeah, I tried to watch it as to maybe think that Shuli was bringing some material out of John, but I kind of lean to what you're saying with it. I think it's the same kind of mentality that that you should have been more prepared. This is why, once again, I'll double back that at least Carl on Horty's podcast, he had rebuttals and retorts back to with him, whereas and he was prepared.
Yep.
And not to say that it was, like
that it always worked,
but it was devastating to John's his argument. But Shuli here, you've had a half of year or maybe more to even go back and forth. The only argument that I can say is, was he trying to say that maybe we can get John on the Shuli Network so we could really air it out there because he didn't want to do it on Chad's his podcast or such? And I would respond to say, then why jump on this conversation? Why do it? It didn't make any sense.
What's that expression? Shuli was de-pantsed. I mean, it really was. I mean, I got to go through this. I'm not sure exactly what the ramification, what the overall plan was, and maybe for all intents and purposes, Chad had no way of knowing how this was going to go. And Shuli, when he gets out of this, he does come off like a bitch. Like he comes off like he completely. It's the representation of. It's almost like when the hotel, when John went to go interview him and Shuli just looked away, looked down, wouldn't make eye contact, wouldn't speak to him, went to the hotel staff. Shuli's trying to come off like some tough, I don't know, tough customer, but he came off no better in this encounter than they did at the hotel. Now, keep in mind, guys, Shuli and him are not friends. There's no connection except over the phone. When John's gone, Shuli joins the show 2 years later. He was a caller.
Yeah, he was a caller early on, and John sat there and said, "You're the reason why that you made something of yourself because I put you on." And it's like, okay, you were a fucking phone screener after like 16 years on the Stern Show. You didn't even get the chance to sit in Jackie's chair when he left. They didn't even give you that. So you're no different than anybody else who was passing through those halls. But with Shuli, like I said, he could have had so much ammunition to go back and forth with him with, and he looks bad. He looks really bad here.
Well, I find it funny that John's kind of created the template of goof on Gary, talk about Gary's life behind, to talk about whatever they discuss behind their backs, come into the studio and make something entertaining. And also, basically get Gary pissed off at you. But it didn't matter because he had just Howard's protection. Shuli later on tried to do a shitty version of Stuttering John, but never got on the air even like 100th as much as Stuttering John did. And that's the key. Like he was doing. So when John left, he had to be replaced by Will, Jason, Shuli, and whoever else in the back office that decided they were going to, throw somebody under the bus. And it wasn't nearly as effective as how John did it. You have to give him credit for that.
The only one who came remotely close to doing what John did was Sal. Sal was the only one that was close to doing it. And even then you kind of saw through it because he wasn't good at it. John was genuine with it because he was a scumbag. He was a genuine sleazebag. Where Artie would say, I couldn't believe that I would have to be hanging out with somebody personally and tell them this is not for air. I can't believe that in life that I had to tell somebody, Liz, because we knew that he was going to do that afterwards.
Yep. Next clip, guys. Stuttering Ray Leonard.
Buddy, listen.
Buddy,
Pal.
I'm not your buddy.
Pal,
Don't think that I'm your buddy.
John.
I want to beat you. I want to beat the fuck out of you in a boxing ring. Now tell me, are you gonna do it?
Of me? You want a piece of me?
Yes, in the ring.
I'd run circles around you. I'd beat the shit out of you.
Okay, let's
do
do it.
Contest. It's not even a contest.
It's not even a contest. John, being a drunk buffoon at 57, I think would wipe the floor with Shuli at any day. Any day.
The drunker versus the weed head. Like, it's like, what do we got here? Like, this would never make sense. When I heard this, I said, who would buy that? Who would want to see this?
Maybe they could sell this as another Pottsville or Pottstown, like the reunion, or like the comeback or something.
I said I would rather watch two legless people in a kickboxing match. This would make more sense to me. That would be ridiculous.
Well, either way, John's, it seems to be his one-track mind. I'll fight you in a boxing ring. Okay, so he's had what? He had one against Cabby. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember him in anything else. It was the Cabby match. That's what I'm saying. He's living off past glory. He's Uncle Rico. Literally, he is Uncle Rico. And I give it to Shuli. Yeah, he's right. He is Uncle Rico.
But Uncle Rico is gonna turn out to destroy the Deuce pair.
Nah, I bet you I could throw this over a mountain. I could throw a mountain. He is. Shuli is right. John lives off of 30 years of past glory.
Sure.
Going back to, he's the innovator of ambush interviews. Right? He still says that Triumph stole from him. Like, that's him.
Well, that's okay. All that aside, the difference is one has a CV and the other one doesn't. Like, John might have lost his fortune, got divorced, is no longer on a late night fucking talk show. He is not writing for any roasts anymore. And don't think the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar roast was a high watermark for any roast ever. But he, and his pensions notwithstanding, he has done something with his life. He had a record deal with fucking Atlantic for 2 albums. Like, that was when it was a major label. This used to be a big deal, guys. And release them. You could get them on eBay for like something $20 or something with shipping. What has Shuli done?
But this is what I'm saying. At least that he can do that, but it's also the Janet Jackson title. What have you done for me lately? You can ride that wave, and John's big argument could be like, I rode on Howard's coattails and did all that. What did you do with that? He did nothing. He did nothing, and he'll always be able. And that's when he gets into it. Shuli has no rebuttal because he knows John's right. Yeah, like, exactly. When you don't respond, there's two reasons for that. Number one, you don't have an answer, or the one you do have is unacceptable. It's still going to make you look like a complete douche canoe. So this is what happens.
Let's do it then.
It's not even worth it. It's not even
worth it. Put the money where your mouth is, dues payer.
Whose money? The $20 that you asked Opie for today? That's
you're so, dude, you suck as a comic. Put the money where your mouth is. Come to the ring.
Do you think as a comic, in all honesty, do you think as a comic I'll ever get a chance to play that potato bar that you played?
Surely don't start going into gigs, dude.
I was about to say, bro, we don't need to go there. We've seen the disasters you've walked in. I've seen more comedians in the middle of Kuwait during the highest of fucking and it wasn't a USO tour. They went in there on just a humble. Yeah, they went into Kuwait and fucking filled out more than you did. Stop it.
Yep. Next one's called mute dues payer.
Like for the weekend, not just
Are you really gonna goof on the places that I go to work out material?
It's a potato bar.
A potato bar? What are you talking about? It was a barbecue restaurant. Yeah, you think look, I'm not proud of it, but guess what, dickhead? I headline all the improvs. Do you?
When's the last time you headlined an improv?
let's see.
Shuli, when's the first time you hosted an improv?
I was about to say that. Shuli actually gets a point here. If you want to look at it as a boxing match, he might be 10-9 here. It's like, because there's no argument on what they're both shit.
They're both shit.
They're both shit. But at least, John, own up to it. You saying that the Iowa spot, because I remember the conversation. He was in bumfuck Iowa in a bar, and he was on radio stations promoting it. Don't try to downplay it that this was just a workout fucking place. Workout places, and you've done stand up. Workout places, you don't promote it. That's where you just go out there to test the crowd.
That's where you're wood shedding.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't go on a radio station to promote it if it's a workout place.
No. At this point, like, yes, John, when he was with Artie, did a lot of big gigs, but as the MC and the host of those things, he wasn't a headliner.
But he was piggybacking off of Artie, and
that's right.
Come on.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I was at the
2 years ago during COVID, you headlined an improv?
Before COVID. Sorry, time flies.
That's like 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Doesn't matter. I host real comedy clubs. When have you ever headlined the Reno Laugh Factory? Have you ever headlined the Tahoe Improv? Have you ever headlined the Vegas Improv? Have you ever fucking headlined the Vegas Laugh Factory? Have you, dues payer?
Name a couple.
And that's Shuli's hometown, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is actually.
Right. And, like, I'm not hearing much from him. And this is it's almost over, this clip. Hold on.
More, because I think we're getting close.
You haven't, dues payer. You did Side Splitters and got 27 people there.
Look, it's arguing over who stepped in a bigger pile of shit. And that's why.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
It is
true. So the next one, guys, is called Come On, Honey, Let's Be Friends.
27 paid tickets, and 20 of them were going to see Chad.
28 people.
Actually, we broke 40.
No, you didn't.
Here. We did.
No, you didn't. Chad knows exactly how many.
Well, Chad knows a lot of things.
And Chad said you were average at best.
But John can't even argue the same. He can't have this argument because he's done the same thing. There's video footage of him in a room with 15 people.
There is, but then why isn't Shuli throwing that in his face? It's because he doesn't have the mental acuity to come back at him and say, dude, we play the same shitholes now.
Exactly. We're both in the same toilet bowl, except you're on one side of it and I'm on the other. It's the same shit.
They're both two turds on the side waiting to get flushed.
Both eating the same shit in the same toilet bowl. Cut it out.
But the point is, Shuli's here looking like some stunned lummox going, what do I do? What do I say? And what he's coming back with most of the time, at least twice, he repeats a question. And that you only do that when you're trying to buy time to come up with something legit to answer or funny. And I waited 30 minutes through this video to laugh at Shuli and didn't. And not because I wasn't trying to, but because he had nothing to say. Now, yes, John filibustered, but somewhere in there, like Artie would always have some kind of like diving uppercut whenever things were going, and he would just like keep quiet, quick, there'll be an opening, boom. With Shuli, lots of times he could have and nothing came out of it.
But think about it, you had all this time and material to unleash when the opportunity came, that you're like, oh my God. And you could even have been tactical about it. Like you could have sat there and said, if he said this, I got this to rebut with, and I got this to go on. I want to see what he could counteract with. Like Shuli had all the stuff that he had on the Uncle Rico show that he had spewed back and forth with. Now you got the jefe of all jefe of this in front of you, and you bring nothing. I don't understand this. Is it, are you stoned? Did we take too many gummies? What happened?
I think it's an edibles thing. I think it's a brains thing, meaning lack thereof. And the other thing is he's doing two things right now. If you look at him, he's not directly looking at the camera. That's fine. Many people, you're not looking at the camera. You're off. You're using your B-roll. So,
this is my good side. This is where everybody says is my good side.
Oh, so we just got to Photoshop all the guests on the Stern Show next to you in that love seat. So he's looking off the screen. I guarantee you he's got two windows going. One of the windows is someone feeding, either looking for some help somewhere, looking for some material, looking anywhere on Reddit or the Dabblerverse so he can come back at John. He's definitely looking at IMs something because he's not truly focused. And he's not focused because John's landing shit jab after shit jab, like drunken 3-week-old jabs going at the speed of, I don't know, the speed of a fruit fly, and still landing with Shuli.
But the thing is that you've had this bank of knowledge about an individual, and it should have been quick. Like it's like Tyson ready to fight for his heavyweight title. Like, you should have been ready to know the counterpunch, ready to hit. You've been building for this fight for the longest. You know, I like to think that I'm a sharp, the sharpest tool in the tool shed with anyone. So I would think that I could be ready to be prepared for a retort, a witty comment, whatever the case may be, at any moment. But you've already built a stacked deck against this guy for half a year, if
easily.
And you have nothing. This is not.
He's reaching into his quiver. He's like, there's nothing there.
It's like Green Arrow looking for his next arrow. He's fucked.
Looking for the boxing glove arrow. Shit.
Well, that hurts coming from Chad. That hurts. I was average at best, Chad. Really? Even you?
Look at this.
Wow.
Shuli, you have no self-awareness.
Hold on, I'm talking to Chad. Hold on.
Shuli,
I'm talking to Chad.
You have no self-awareness about how unlikable you are.
Pal, give me 1 second, buddy. So, Chad,
really? Dude, stop calling me buddy. I'm not your buddy.
Why?
You are my
What's
bitch.
wrong with that?
You are my bitch.
Okay, then you're my pal.
What? That's a retort?
Now, I think with him doing that is him trying to troll him, and he's trying to, like, it's a weird, silly, old Stern thing that Wiki used to do. I think that's just him being stupid.
But it ain't gonna work. Like, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna fight fire with fucking. You're not gonna fight fire with napalm.
Exactly. It doesn't. It's a stupid trolling thing that he's trying to do. It's almost like when you heard Sal and Richard do a phony phone call, and they're calling a guy who's very masculine. He's like, "Hey, honey, can you pick me up on the side of the road?" And they're like, "Stop calling me honey." He's like, "Yeah, I'm on the side of I-95 off the exit. All right, sweetie, you can get me." It's like that kind of trolling thing, and it's not working. It's not that fit. But the other thing that bothers me is that Chad, I've never heard him. I never really knew that he had a podcast or whatever. I get angry because how would you let somebody bully you on your own show? That's the shit that bothered me out of all this.
I think Chad didn't think he was going to add anything, and he was right. He wasn't going to add anything. The only thing he could do is moderate or just clarify a question, go into a little more detail because maybe he's got his faculties about him. But I've never heard him say anything funny. Next clip, guys, is called "You're Nothing to Me Now, Shuli."
You don't have friends. Levy's not your friend either. He'll turn on you. And let me ask you a question, dude.
That's true. If John had a network and he was making more money,
shut up. You suck everybody's dick the second they come on your show, and you hate
them. No. I've been friends with Chad for a long time.
You're the most disloyal person out there, Chad. And John, you're right behind him. Might be a photo finish.
Your whole network is back to you.
Shuli is absolutely. This is absolutely the pot calling the kettles black. I mean,
but not only that. Do you see that what he did there? He could actually pick on the weaker of the three in that conversation, the weaker of the two, whatever you may say. He picked on Chad because, like I said, I don't know anything about this dude, but apparently a lot of the podcasting world, when it comes to comedy and such, they can't stand Chad. So he feels he could bully him, but we haven't heard him bully John yet.
He's buddies with Florentine. They did that Disgruntled Waiter series on YouTube, and I mean, I guess he's got his friends and what have you. But this was actually a huge boost to his channel, I believe. Yeah, but yeah. I would never subscribe. I'm just glad someone uploaded this.
Which once again, then why would Shuli jump onto this if you were about to boost somebody else's what they calling it these days, like view sniping or whatever it is like that? Why would you do that?
I have no idea, but I will tell you he had two options, both of which were not favorable, and this is the way I see it. If Shuli didn't go head to head with Stuttering John, he'd look like a pussy. But the other option was to just ignore, like, so if you ignore him, then there's nothing. You're not giving John anything, and you don't get anything. I think Shuli thought he could go on there, get John to make an ass of himself, which he sort of did, but so did Shuli. Like it came off like if no one's winning, Shuli's definitely coming off. He's the first one out of the cage. Do you know, out of the ring? Do you know what I mean? Royal Rumble.
What's it called? Who's the winner of an ass kicking contest when nobody has legs?
Well, yeah, exactly. So he it was like, unless he destroyed John, he needed to get on here and destroy John. He didn't do it. He didn't even come close to it. And that's only going to make, in my opinion, his Patreon subscribers think, why the fuck? Like, you think I don't know. I haven't heard his rebuttal, because apparently they took this video and they talked about it on their own show, and they did another episode. This is going to fuel another 3 months of content while they recycle it again and again, examining it like the fucking Zapruder tape. But it in my opinion, Shuli would be best acting like this never happened, because it's not good.
Right.
So the next one is Shuli attended Desperation U.
Shuli, right. You were my mole. You were my mole.
Come get. Oh yeah, I heard your evidence.
I don't like pylons like you should.
Shuli, you don't remember telling me the story about your wife who had to go to the bathroom, and then it was in Howard's clear hallway?
John,
you don't remember talking.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, you're 100% right. Okay.
Okay. Shuli's now worried. Shuli, because I can tell, and you can tell in his face, he's a little perturbed now. He doesn't know what John's going to say.
But the other thing is that John's been saying this for the longest. That this is not anything new. That Shuli is one of his moles, like he said. And even with the content that he's talking about, no one knows what the fuck he's talking about. Nobody even cares. Like, it's
a non-story the way it's explained, because John, of course, has the IQ of a fucking gnat. And
tell me that Shuli was the mole to say that Beth was a beard to Wiggy's gayness. Like, I would get that. That would be something crazy. But we'll hear what he's talking about.
Yep.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. What is a mole to you? When you say someone's
a mole is you're at a show and you're giving me information about the show behind the balls in the back.
Right? Behind the scenes, like information.
That's a mole. Just like how I got the Pelican brief. That's a mole.
Buddy, calm down. So
I'm not gonna calm down, Shuli, because I don't like you. You stole Carl's fucking whole thing. You stole Carl's whole thing and you ran it into the ground because you don't have an original idea in that empty head. Let me ask you a question, Shuli. Did you ever go to college?
Did I go to college? No, I did not.
Yeah, that's what happens when the answer's gonna be no, because you don't have an education. You're a dumb fuck.
You went to college?
Yes, I did, and I have a 4-year degree from NYU.
Well, you're a horrible advertisement for somebody.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, what a funny line, Deuce Payer. Let me tell you something. I have an education. You don't. You're not smart. You don't have an original idea in that empty head of yours, and you stole fucking Carl's idea. And if I was Carl, I would never talk to you again.
Okay.
We need to find out if is NYU have John Melendez on their alumni page and they promote it greatly. We need to find that out.
What's the there's a school in California, I think it's a high school, where they paint celebrities on the outside, like that attended the school.
Right.
I think Jimmy Kimmel might have been on there. It's maybe it's like ABC stars. I have no idea. But either way, John Ritter they finally painted his mural up on there after Jimmy campaigned. I can imagine NYU with a big mural of Stuttering John with like a 2-4, like a 6-pack or something, just trailing off like I can't believe it.
With all the great alumni that's come out of NYU, I can't imagine that Stuttering John Melendez is in the forefront of their brochures or their.
Well, here's a good question, because I'm not familiar with the New York schools. In the rankings of, let's say, because every year they do that, the 100 best schools in the USA, whatever. Where would NYU rank theoretically?
Maybe in the top 10. They are in the top 10. They are there because it's like Columbia, Binghamton. There's certain schools that are up there. So NYU is like in their top 10. Maybe their top 5.
I mean, I find it kind of amazing that he went there. Did he go there as a special needs program? I don't know.
Well, he started off like in junior college, but I think it was that his father was an alumni there and got him in one way or another. And that's when I believe he did his finishing years there.
Mm-hmm. Well, either way, he did. Like, it Shuli had nothing. He had no riposte. He had nothing to say. He was like, "Oh, you went to school?" Because Shuli's a dumb fuck as well. I mean, like, but John has never been. He's always been a hustler. He's always been a guy to grab that whole fucking baguette if you give him a piece of bread. He's just been he's a chiseler, he's a cheapskate. I mean, there's so many negative things about Stuttering John, which is another reason why I wouldn't have him on the fucking show. But the idea that Shuli's going to go down this road and claim, oh God, you're making NYU bad. Shuli, you make comedy look bad. You make podcasting look bad. You make pushing wheelchairs in Vegas look bad. I mean, there's no upside to this competition here. Your best bet would have been to just fucking leave it.
He was a blackjack dealer. Like he did everything under the sun in Vegas, and he still weighs on the heavy that I've paid my dues. This is why he keeps dues paired that John keeps saying. And I get what he's saying, but both of them look terrible here. Yeah. You're not a great ambassador for not getting a college degree, but the other one is you are the worst ambassador for saying you made yourself something from a college degree. They both look horrible here. It really is exposing all your warts and not really having any kind of, there's no upside to it. Exactly. So certainly not for Shuli. Anyway, we'll keep the next one, another weak jab that misses.
So, but I thought you hated Carl. Oh,
and you ran it into the ground. Carl and I have had a private conversation, Deuce Payer, and Carl and I made amends. Sometimes you can make up with people.
Sure,
sometimes you can.
Sure. If the price is right, Johnny?
No price.
Yeah.
Price, no dickhead. No price.
I know. You had
I made up with Carl. On Brennan's podcast. Yeah. There was no price. Brennan paid me. I didn't know Carl was going to come in there, you dumb fuck. And let me tell you something, Deuce Payer. Let's address some of your fucking hypocrisy.
Go ahead, buddy. Nice shirt. I never seen that. Go ahead.
No, that's it. Yeah. Nice green screen. I never saw that either, you dumb fuck. You even stole that idea from me.
It's like if Dice Clay had Down syndrome.
When you said that he looks like Mama from Throw Mama from the Train, I can't get you need to do a Photoshop. You have to. I can't get it out of my head now. Everyone loves his mama.
Did you look up the picture? Just
no, I know it in my head because I remember she was in Goonies. I remember her.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And but he really does the color. The color of John's skin, he looks like baloney that was left out for fucking days in the summer sun, like in Death Valley or somewhere. He looks gray.
Yeah, I don't know what that is because he's never been good with his camera work or filters or anything like that. But it just proves that
filters.
With that time off he had from podcasting didn't do him justice. You would have thought somebody would have came back healthier from it. He looks awful.
Was he teaching in a fucking nuclear bunker in California? Because it was like, dude, vitamin D.
Exactly. You know, get there's something called sun in California, and you get a lot of it there. Like maybe, just maybe, you could have at least taken some of it in. Jesus.
Yeah. Next clip, guys, a little longer one. It's called Crickets.
You say, no, I'm better than him. Did you not say that? What say you bald fuck?
Do you do
no, answer the question. What say you? You're on trial, Deuce Payer. Answer the question. What did you not, or did you say that you were better than me on Stern?
You don't even know what you're asking anymore. You're so
no, dumb fuck.
Say the question.
Go to Shuli's Anonymous. They had you saying that you're better than me on Stern.
Anonymous, Shuli's.
And then they have you saying that.
Do you have any thoughts?
You never said that. Why don't you be honest for once in your life, you fucking little prick?
But
is this a testament to what a drunk versus a stoner goes? How an argument?
You know, Nancy Reagan was an idiot. Why wouldn't you just put these two on the commercial, make this a commercial in the 80s and say, kids, don't do drugs, don't drink.
This is what you get when a stoner and a drunk goes head to head. It's like you get nothing.
Well, listen, you've been at the bars. You've heard drunk conversations where they degenerate into nothingness, and next day no one remembers what was said.
At least with two drunks going at it, you get a build up, and then it skews off to another topic, and then that topic becomes a fight. With two stoners, it becomes philosophy and theories, and it becomes those moments of if you put bleach in someone's blood, you might be able to cure AIDS or something that way. And one or the other be like, whoa, that's fucking cool the way you thought about it. But now you get a drunk and a stoner go head to head. It's almost like having a Lamborghini going against a Mack truck in a race head to head, and who's gonna make it to the fucking finish line and then beat each other up after. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm not sure which vehicle Shuli's in, but it's out of gas. I mean, it really is listless. I mean, if he was going any slower, he'd be going backwards. This is
by the way, the rant that I just did, I almost felt Gilbert flow through me. It almost sounds like two vehicles going through each other.
Also, I don't know if you checked it out. I posted on the QF page that Gilbert's widow is selling his prints of his art that I had no idea he did.
Oh, really? Are you gonna buy it? Are you going?
No, they're just they're reprints. They're not originals, and they are signed, but they're like $200 each, and I'm not paying that much for a Gilbert print. I love them. I'd pay good money for an autographed book or an autographed photo, but I don't care. His art, that's the kind of stuff you'd want to frame. It does look great, but it's a little overpriced for a print. I'm sorry.
I didn't even know Gilbert was doing that. That's pretty cool. I probably would do that because I didn't know he was doing it.
It is pretty cool. I just I wouldn't have space. I wouldn't have a way to, I collect 8x10s or smaller. I don't, that one's a little oversized for me, but either way, check it out. It's actually pretty amazing. I'm thinking, you want to talk talent, Gilbert and Shuli. Now we're talking about Shuli. We bring up Gilbert. That's an infamia. Jesus. Awful.
I thought you don't like me. Why do you have to go to Shuli's Anonymous for all the stuff you don't like about me?
Because they supply me with all your bullshit.
Oh, so Reddit's okay now, but Dabbler's Anonymous, you were not.
I don't give a fuck.
Right?
I don't. dues payer. I don't have the thin skin like you.
Price is right. The price is right,
No,
Johnny.
it's called confidence in my career and my credits.
Some
you don't
would
have
call it
any.
smugness. Some would call
Yes,
it
dues payer.
Oh God, this is really like, Shuli, you're stepping like you. Do you know everything you're saying applies to you? You know that, right? No, I don't believe so.
The other thing he says is, John says, I don't have the thin skin like you do. You have the thinnest skin out of everyone in that universe.
The two of them have they have like rice paper skin.
It's like whatever wraps fucking sushi or sushi rolls. It's that thin.
It's I think we're gonna call Shuli tempura because he's lightly battered. Shuli, when Stuttering John took his channel down, or most of his videos, I think there's like 7 on there now, you were required to go to people online to get old clips of his that they had backed up, or go on Dabblers Anonymous for segments and take them from there as well. So you were if you didn't have that, you'd have nothing.
He was going on YouTube finding old
Stern shows,
John segments on the Stern show. That's what he was diving into.
He was calling it the blunder years.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, Jesus, what a wordsmith. Fuck.
Have you ever done Conan? Have you ever done The Tonight Show? Have you ever done Tough Crowd? Have you ever done Jon Stewart? No. Yeah, you're sleeping because that's what you did.
He's and once again, Uncle Rico, he's bringing up shows that's not relevant. It's like
come on, they're not relevant, but has the answer we know, of course, Shuli's not been on any of those.
Not even relevant, that they don't exist anymore. If you were to tell them
they don't, but it's hold on, they don't, but it's a credit. You can't take it away from him.
Right, but also you could have said that he could have said during Shuli's years on a show, did you do Jimmy Fallon? Did you do Kimmel? Did you do any? He didn't. Although he hasn't done any of those, but what John is referencing is his old stuff. Okay, bring up to what I've done in the past in my years. I was able to achieve and build on. You didn't build on anything on your Stern years. You did nothing. And that's where I could coincide and side with John with. I get that.
Yeah. Well, the whole point is like Shuli's got nothing to come back at him. Like that's like he's not taking that tack. He could easily go like, John, how about naming a show that was done in the last 2 decades?
Hell, look at Yucko. Yucko made a career of the Stern Show. He had his own channel, he had his own website, and now he's a big fucking a voiceover guy.
Not just voice, but he's producing animation for Netflix, or wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. What did Shuli do?
Well, that's it. He moved to Alabama, the hub of comedy, and and everybody's been to the Funny Bone in Alabama. And
Alabama was the hub of comedy. I thought that like Tennessee was like, isn't it Tennessee like Music City? Like what was
it's one of them, absolutely, in terms of producing.
Alabama had the central focal point of comedy. Who knew?
Well, you move there when your wife's crystal business doesn't fucking pan out, and all of a sudden all that fucking what do you call it? The aquamarine sales are in the toilet, and the tourmaline is not really fucking selling like hotcakes. And I'm not trying to shit on Shuli's wife. Whatever she does, God bless her, but she's the one who put herself out there on that fucking Priya Devi podcast, and everybody's going after her. I don't give a fuck one way or the other. I think it's pathetic that there's not a little more transparency on Shuli's part. And there's a video that Toucan Sam B.O. I'm not going to say that word on this podcast. He posted some great videos of Shuli explaining what an entitled little fucking bitch he was his entire life. The third of 3 boys. His parents had to bail him out of shit when he was at 30 years old. He's been like, he was a failure for most of his life. And he, is trying to pass it off like, I had this dream of being a comedian. Well, the dream hasn't happened, Shuli. We're still waiting for that fucking dream. It's now a nightmare because Stuttering John, this buffoon, is schooling you.
Listen, there've been lesser comedians who had a fucking HBO comedy half hour or Comedy Central presents. Come on, guy. Let's especially with Stern name, you could have carried over. Come on.
I mean, Christ's sake, Richard Jeni killed himself, and he had a better life than Shuli. All right, let's go.
You slept. You slept. You didn't hustle well enough, dues payer. You didn't hustle. You don't have the talent to back it up.
This next one's called wardrobe material.
What, did you think about putting on a different shirt today, or you just woke up?
No, I bought 2 of them, you dumb fuck.
Do you always buy 2 of shirts? Because I know the dark Brandon shirt, you bought 2 of those.
Yes, I did.
Right. So is that your thing?
Oh, what is the significance of this comment? Maybe because then they don't have the rush to do the laundry immediately after I wear the first one, you dumb fuck.
Just asking a simple wardrobe question. I don't know why.
Look who's looking. Yeah, look, show us your shirt. You're the fashion police? Oh, yeah, you're the
What, did you think about putting on a different shirt today, or you just woke up?
No, I bought 2 of them, you dumb fuck.
Do you always buy 2 of shirts? Because I know the dark Brandon shirt, you bought 2 of those.
Yes, I did.
Right. So is that your thing?
Oh, what is the significance of this comment? Maybe because then they don't have the rush to do the laundry immediately after I wear the first one, you dumb fuck.
John, you have 2 shirts and that's it.
Oh my God. You're not helping yourself, sir.
Dude. I got 2 shirts, so I don't have to wash immediately. Well, most people get a bunch of shirts, John. That's not helping, but Shuli could be going at him the same way we are, but I guess, And
this is just petty shit, but like, dude, there should have been a better argument for that one.
Maybe a little bit.
Just asking a simple wardrobe question. I don't know why.
Look who's looking. Yeah, look, show us your shirt. You're the fashion police? Oh, yeah, you're the fashion police. Okay, got it.
Well, no, I'm not saying I'm a fashion police. Get out of here. Nobody wants you. Bye.
No, I want him. Come back, Chad.
No,
I'm done with this guy.
No.
Because this guy can't be honest.
If you come back, I go.
Oh.
You better go. You better go.
Oh,
right. John. I run.
Why, are you afraid of Chad now, too?
I run shit.
Are you afraid of Chad now, too?
I don't do pylons. I don't do pylons.
Are you afraid? Run away. No, Chad, come back. Chad, come back. Run away, little pussy. Run away, Sir Robin.
Not you.
So Robin is the chicken. So Shuli is the chicken. So Robin is the chicken. So Shuli is the chicken.
My brain just sort of melted down listening to that.
Exactly. I did the same thing where, first of all, Chad, come on, Chad, you got to be a better fucking host of this shit. You got to be way better than that. And then, secondly, this is what the argument comes down to with these 2 morons about clothing.
Well, Shuli brought it up, and what I don't know what the hell he was going on. Like, what was he going for that? Like, he was going to be a Mr. Fashion Plate.
Yeah, exactly. None of you guys are like on the
Mr. Blackwell's best dressed.
Blackwell's best dressed list and all that. We're not seeing on the catwalks. Like, cut it out. Stop.
GQ featuring Shuli. I got to make that Photoshop now. All right, the comedy issue.
Is it the best dressed podcaster? Shut up.
Right. Next one. Shules is frazzled.
Run away.
Thank me for bringing you back.
Bring Chad in.
Thank me, you ungrateful.
Bring Chad in so you can run away like you ran away from me in the lobby. Because you know that you're my fucking mole. You are my mole. You betrayed Howard. Howard wants nothing to do with you.
Get out of here.
No, you stay, Chad. It's your show. Don't let Shuli tell you how to run.
No, I like watching it, but you're not going to tell me
what
to do, Shuli.
You stay here to call out
not
the
going
hypocrisy of the newspaper.
Let's watch Shuli run away like he ran away from you, John.
That's what he does.
I don't like
pylons run away, Shuli. I've interviewed so many comics. Not one of them ran away without saying something. You called security on me. What say you, you fucking bald, dumb pussy.
What say me about an interview that you did years
You
ago?
ran away from me, and you called security on
I'm
me.
trying to answer you.
I don't get it. Like, honestly, I don't get it with what is the big argument here with these guys. First of all, Shuli is really, really trying to bully something, but where the bullying comes from is not with John, it's with Chad, because he could have had the same thing. I guess maybe paid the same money to have him, because he was offering up $1,000 to have John on his show, but
Right.
like maybe that they paid more than that to be elsewhere. But the whole process that's going on for me is Shuli really afraid to go head to head like with John, and is easier to put Chad in this place? I don't get it.
Well, I guess so. Like Chad seems to be bending over for this, unless I guess the whole concept for Chad is, look, I got these two blowhards on there. One's a fucking hack. They're both hacks. One's a super loud hack. A third voice isn't maybe going to help this, and should be better just let them throw down like two mud wrestlers.
Maybe, but it's also a thing to where who's getting really over here? None of these three are getting over in this conversation. None.
They're both cutting Ken Patera promos. Jeez, I am so upset. Hold on. Like I think at the end of the day, like Shuli, oh no, he trying to bully Chad to get off the fucking show, whatever, and then Chad coming off. Chad, like that's what I don't understand. Tell Shuli go fuck himself. Whose show do you think this is, Shuli? And you don't run anything. Apparently, you don't even run your own show, because you claim he advertises all these different quote unquote podcasts like Road Stories, and and you don't. They just fall into the other. Like he stopped doing them. He lists them as being part of the lineup of what he releases, but then all you see is Uncle Rico shit. Miserable men.
Yeah, I'm kind of, if somebody was asking me about the whole wrestling thing, that this might be like, that's the gimmick, is like certain podcasts have their roles on their show, whatever, because you and I would be the same. Like if somebody would try to sit there and try to bully us on an interview, it's not gonna happen. We're not doing that.
No.
But yeah, so I think that maybe that's a gimmick that they're running with. Okay, whatever.
Well, whichever way, it's not working. Like no one's intimidated.
Exactly.
Except maybe Shuli.
Yeah, it's a weird demo. Or kind of execution of this show. I don't see why is this I don't know. In any case, let's go.
The next one is Shuli is, let me see what I call this one. Shuli is extremely dumbfounded.
After we talked on the phone, you told me about Christina and about how she had to pee and she ran into Stern. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
What a bombshell.
Says the fucking pothead. Says the pothead. Hey, look, Shuli, I haven't lit my dude. You obviously have, because you are as delusional as you always are. You have been nothing. You were nothing but a whack-packed wrangler.
Thanks,
That's
buddy.
it.
Thanks, pal.
But the thing is Shuli's not quite understanding. Also, you're not getting anything from this later on. Like you're not going to be able to spin it. I've already said that. But he's also, like I said, he's gonna be embarrassed himself. Except Shuli doesn't have that sense of humility. He doesn't feel he did poorly here. That's his own delusion. He thinks, wow, this went great. This is an extra hour for us to make into like 16 hours. We're going to make this into fucking North and South, when it was really just two dumb fucking moose going head on.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if they did a retort on this on their page. I'm not sure if that occurred. And
I think they have.
And if I were, and I might have to check that out, because if I was Mike or
Levy.
Oh, Levy. I would fucking call him out. I was like, dude, why the fuck you didn't attack him? Why didn't you go at him? Like, what? Why? You had it.
I think because they know that he doesn't have that in him. He doesn't have that in his arsenal.
I don't know. With this should have been easy pickings for anybody to critique, like we're doing now.
Well, at the same time, I mean, Shuli, like I said, Shuli just didn't have the foresight. Like I would have known personally not to bother with this. And if people go, well, you're a bitch, you won't meet him. It's like, no, I just know how John is. He's going to yell. He's going to scream. I'm not going to get a word in edgewise. I'm not going to over yell him, go hoarse for a week just to talk over this no mind.
No, but I disagree because with your foresight in the way that I would do the same is that I would have already been prepared to go at this. This would have been knowing the way he is, and I would have gone back and forth with the attack of it. I've done it before with on my podcast with people. I would have already had that idea to go. Whether I won or lost, I would have still been able to sat there and to have that conversation with them to make it entertaining, to make it something that people would have gotten a clear understanding why this was going on.
The beatdown continues.
Oh, run away, Shuli, run away, like you always
I'm
do.
right here, man. I'm right here.
You said if I brought
put me back on the bottom.
You said if you brought
Shuli, you've always been a bottom. What are you talking about? And look, there's people doing in the super chats. Shuli, it's been 10 minutes. This guy is Syrian24. Say something funny already. You hack. All you do is steal from Kevin Brennan.
There's no fun. There's no funny. There's no. And even if I wasn't gonna go into this conversation as funny, at least let me go in with counteractive responses to what you're going at me with. There's nothing there.
Yeah, he's not counterpunching. It's just literally he's Michael Spinks in that match with Tyson.
It's 72 seconds. Let's get it over with.
Was it 72? I thought it was just over 90, but I could be
about 92 seconds. 96.
Okay, I just remember having been in the bathroom thinking it's just starting. We had the pay-per-view. I'll never forget. And like, what? It's over? Fuck. What? Can we replay it 12 times and get at least 10 minutes out of it?
Exactly.
Oh man.
Chad,
you don't even know how to run a show. What are you doing?
No, I know. I do know how to run a show.
Don't let him tell you.
There's over 500 people watching. This is compelling content.
Don't let him tell you how to run a show.
No, I'll tell you how to run a show. My show does better numbers than your shit show.
Who gives a fuck? That's because you talk about me, you dumb fuck.
Nah, not all the time.
Yes. Even Cole would admit that.
He ain't lying.
Shuli, you're done. Like you're done on that one. The next one is called "Spot the Brain Cell in the Room."
You'll come up with an excuse.
You don't want to hear the.
Do you realize how much people hate you and are turning on you?
Good.
Do you realize that?
Good.
Do you realize right now
unlike you,
you
John,
realize, hey, Deuce Payer.
John,
you realize,
unlike you, I don't care what people think.
Do you realize right now?
On the internet.
Deuce Payer.
Cares?
Deuce Payer. Do you realize there's one person out of the three on your show that are texting and calling me now?
Get out of here. Is it Joe the producer? Is he asking you to?
They are disloyal to you because they know what a fucking hack you are.
John, don't tell me that, John. You're telling me I have a mole?
Next clip, guys, called "Watch Out, Shuli. John's a realtor."
That's what I got. Deuce Payer. I do research. Unlike you don't even research for your own show. You've admitted it.
I don't need.
You don't do any research. You're a hack. And a lazy hack.
Thank you. Are you next?
Again, he's not lying. I mean, the tagline is never planned. Never planned.
Listen, as much as Shuli will give the squeegee bit a fucking tagline for their they hate for John's show, John could easily go back to anything that he does. What I'm talking about with Shuli when it comes to his repeated whack pack jokes and shit like that. So it's no different. Their material still lingers the same way for years. There's no advancement to their material.
Right. It's two subhumans arguing with each other. I mean, there is really, it's like that joke about the Special Olympics being, you might have won the gold, but you're still retarded. Sorry, that's bad. But I mean, that's a joke from the King Hack. Hardy came. He's the one that made it a bit on his album. Anyway, we'll keep going.
To anyone, this apartment you moved to now, or
it's not an apartment like the other one was an apartment, you dumb fuck.
Condo.
It was a condo. And guess what, you dumb fuck?
My condo, an apartment with a garage.
My condo sold for the same amount that your house that you bought your house for. So who the fuck are you to goof on my condo?
Well, my house is in my name. It's not in my mom or dad's name.
Oh yeah, but Shuli,
and
let me ask you a question. Did your mom and dad, or Christina's mom and dad, help you pay for the down payment? Because I know what the truth is.
No, actually, they didn't.
Oh, okay. How much did you put down? Oh, that's none of your business. How much did you put down? Oh, you're laughing.
You wanted to fight.
Now the pothead's going to laugh because he has no answer.
I have to say, going after this sort of like real estate talk is just riveting.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. It's once it gets to that, then it's bitch petty. Like it gets real petty.
Yeah. Next clip, guys. Shuli's still looking for that elusive first laugh.
How much did you put down?
How much did you think I put down?
You did a DHA loan. That's what I think you did.
That's what you think you did.
Yeah. Now he's gonna avoid the question and mimic me.
No,
you are such a hack.
I answered you.
Hack.
So at what
point,
point,
Kevin? Hack. Yeah. Thank you, Kevin.
Good job stealing Brennan's bit too, by the way.
It don't matter. He stole mine with Silent Mike. I love Kevin Brennan.
Oh,
nice shot at trying. Nice shot. Nice shot at trying to turn me away. Turn me from Kevin Brennan. Kevin Brennan is a talented and funny fucking comedian. You are a hack.
Wow.
I'm going through this right now, and I'm thinking about what the fuck is the point of why we doing this?
Well, the screaming like really just sort of it's jarring. He's going to give himself a seizure or a stroke.
But I'm sitting here listening to this, and I go, both of them at this point right now are like running on fumes on any argument. Like they're not there. There's not anything there. I would have wished that Shuli did something, because at least there would have been some way of punching back to say that, yes, we could see something here. But right now, we're going at real estate. It's like, what are we talking about here?
This is John. What was that expression Gary said on the show one time? He fights like a retard, like basically flailing, whatever he would, because I think it was the episode where John wakes Ralph up.
But yeah, I see that, but still, it's gotten worse through the years. It's not the same anymore.
No, it's the last refuge of the last refuge of the desperate. Like they're all kind of going, they're doing whatever they can to get some kind of traction. That's a callback. Sorry, guys. And and so Shuli's. Again, his sense of self-delusion will maybe protect him from this video. But if I looked back at this and I was Shuli, I'd be embarrassed as fuck that I got schooled by volume. I got schooled by not being able to defend myself. That's kind of the point why we're doing this, because it's really illustrating Shuli once again on the back foot, not able to come back at anything. You call yourself a comic, you paid your dues, all this shit, and we're still waiting for something funny from you.
And it's not even on the defensive. You should have been prepared. You've been on the offensive.
Hey, never planned. Never funny.
You've been on the offensive for so long. You should have had already whatever fucking action that Stud Joe or whatever the fuck he had. You should have had a quick response because you've been doing it for the past 6 months.
But do you know what the perfect parallel is here? Shuli was doing shitty Howard, going after Stuttering John tapes.
True. Yeah.
What did Howard excel at? Going after Andy Dick tapes, going after, I don't know, fucking Oprah tapes. When Stuttering John talked on the Adam Carolla show, did he argue with Stuttering John? No, he argued with tapes.
Yeah, it's true. He was
the parallel is neither of them could deal head on with someone directly. If fucking Simon Cowell went in the studio now and tore Howard a new asshole, Howard would have nothing. He'd have nothing to say.
It was shadowboxing. Always.
Yep.
Shadowboxing.
Next one, like batting a dead mouse.
Kevin Brennan has done more in his life than you ever will, because you're a... And without me, you're nothing.
Oh, my God, John.
Oh,
so how did I not survive for the...
Did you not say... Dues payer. Did you not say that I was going to put your kids through college, dues payer?
I don't know. I kind of don't want my
kids.
Yes,
you did say that. You said that I was going to put your kids through college on your own show. So if you don't know what you say in your own show,
I can tell you we've gone on a few vacations. Thanks
to
you.
Yeah,
thanks, buddy. Thanks, pal.
Yeah, no, your kids should love me then.
That sounds a little Pat Cooperish.
Hey, really? What is it? Pat Cooper. Who told you that?
Yep. And the next one, guys, hack on hack crime is the best crime.
They probably love me more than they love you, you dumb fuck. So
we weren't supposed to talk about kids, John.
No, but dues payer, you just said that. No, dues payer. I didn't say anything bad about your kids, you dumb fuck.
Chad, I can't stand for this, buddy.
I didn't say anything bad about your children, dues payer.
I came on here in good faith to talk.
You said that I was going to put your kids through college, dues payer.
I can't do that. I can't.
You brought your kids up.
I didn't think you needed to sink so low, John.
Did you?
Now, Shuli bringing up some false issue, like he's going after your kids. He wasn't going after your fucking kids, Shuli. He's going after what you said on your show, supposedly.
I think he was trolling here. He was just being silly. I don't really think he took it serious here. That's one thing I can say about this one, that he was just being silly. Because
silly is it's better than being silent, I suppose.
I guess, yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Hey, I was gonna pay. Did you say I was gonna put your kids through college? Did you bring your kids into? Did you say I was gonna put your kids through college?
You lecture everyone.
Ted, this guy can't be honest. This guy can't be honest.
You crossed the line. Admit
no,
right now.
You just said that I paid. You said that I paid for your kids.
You said it.
You just said that I paid for your kids' vacations. You said it. Chad, who just said that I paid for their kids' vacations?
Who said it first?
Chad, who?
Chad, wake up.
I'm not. You guys are doing great.
Chad, who said that I paid for his kids' vacation?
Who said it first, kid?
You said that I was going to put your kids through college. You said I was going to put. Oh, he's going to run away now, Chad. Look, he's looking for the.
You're bringing up family. I didn't bring.
Who cares? Like, what the fuck?
I clip this to just show the complete inanity of the whole situation.
Who gives a fuck about this? All you guys are piggybacking off each other to fucking make money on it. Who gives a fuck about this?
Right, and this is a free show we've decided to put out for you guys.
Exactly.
Well, look, I mean, God, you know, when you sink into the mud pit of stupidity, you don't ever expect to find a rope to save yourself.
Right.
Oh, Jesus.
No, you brought family. You said I was going to pay for you. No,
you brought up family.
Shuli, you said I was going to put your kids through college, did you not?
And I said yes, and then you said
okay. Then you said you did pay.
After that, what did you say after that?
Then you said, well, you did pay for my kids' vacations. Did you not say that?
I did, and then what did you say, John?
I said, well, they should fucking thank me.
No. You said they.
And this comment I loved. Some guy wrote, "This is Shuli's Billy Squire Rock Me Tonight moment. Good luck recovering from this beta male energy, Shuli."
You sent me that, I was hitting hysterical laughing. That is the best like equivalent of what this whole thing is going on right now. It's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, but you admit that in the final analysis, Shuli kind of he got onto the apron, didn't land a punch, and got knocked out.
Yeah, definitely. It's the 15th round of a slaughter, but yet you can't put the guy out. It's right, and you didn't do it.
It's Trevor Burbick against Muhammad Ali.
Exactly.
Oh man.
You should love me, and what did I say?
Yeah, because I gave them free vacation.
They do. I said they do love you, and then what'd you say? What'd you say, you piece of shit?
I don't remember.
Now you have amnesia. Now you forgot?
Yeah, I do, Shuli, because I'll tell you, I didn't say anything bad about your kids. I don't even know your kids. I don't know your kids' names. I don't care. But you go on Anthony Cumia's show, who trashes my trans kid all the time. What say you?
Anthony, take Hypocrite. Kids, like you just trashed mine.
Let me ask you a question. You're a Jewish guy. No.
And this is where John loses me. He loses me here. This is where
when he brings up his trans kid as a bulletproof vest.
And it's just like, this is all about you when it comes to all that. And I've said this on previous podcasts or whatever. It's all about him. With me as a parent, and if I was an individual, had to go in and be with this kind of lifestyle situation, whatever, you don't wave it as a shield or flag to say that I'm this person.
Yeah.
No, you live the life and that's it. But he continues to do this because he's fake. He's just and this is why it's one of the later aspects of me following this Stuttering John shit that annoys me most. Because now not only he does that, he's now so pro Puerto Rican, because I've never heard him be pro Puerto Rican before. Now he's that. It turns my stomach with this shit. But Shuli once again has no response to any of this. None.
No, he can't fire back. The next one is when one idiot has the other over a barrel.
Let me ask you a question.
Hurry up, because I gotta go.
No, my ex-wife was Jewish, and my kids.
I gotta go. What?
And you wanted to come on. Now you're gonna run away?
No, I popped on for a minute.
Yeah, and now you're gonna run.
I popped on for a minute. Fuck off, Shuli. You don't. And you want to talk? Do you want to talk the opposite end of the stick, or the same end of the opposite end of the same stick? This dude couldn't care anything about his own fucking family. Shuli, worst. It's a combination. It's a competition between two shit dads.
And this is the same guy who goes on Twitch or any other fucking outlet to play Call of Duty and be on it for 8-9 hours to get the streams and to get the following and all this. But the other thing that kills me is the fact that you didn't have to jump on here. This was you doing this. Yeah. You figured it out.
You sound like a little bit like Marcia Clark. You knew what you were doing.
You knew.
What?
I'm not running away. I have something called a family upstairs waiting for me.
Oh, that's a bitch move, Shuli. Your family's not calling for you. They don't care. You don't care about them. You just need a fucking out.
You done wasted numerous times on Call of Duties or Grand Theft Autos, whatever the fuck you've been playing on your Twitch, and you've done it for 6, 8, 9, 10, 9 to 10 hours, and now all of a sudden you have a family. Fuck off.
Exactly.
Okay. So
the one you just goofed on.
I didn't goof on them.
My kids.
No, I said that
what about taking
shit I'm not going.
Life?
What about taking the proof is in the pudding.
Huh?
The proof what?
Huh?
What?
You know what I'm talking about. What
no, I don't. Tell me. Say it.
And not only that, this is the same douchebag who has fucking numerous shows that he's on his network that I would believe takes maybe 80 hours a week on his fucking network to produce and upload and such. But now on this conversation, he has to deal with his family. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. You're not fooling anybody, Shuli. Trust me. You're not smart enough, as Hardy said, you're not smart enough to get out of this.
Say it! Say
what?
What did I say about your wife?
What did you say about my wife?
I don't know.
Bitch.
I don't know.
You know.
No, I don't.
You put it in your tweets. You make it in your comments.
In my tweets?
That's right. That's right.
What are you referring to?
We're going to play dumb now. We're just going to play dumb.
No, I don't know what you're referring to.
He mentioned nothing about his fucking wife.
He has nothing. I was about to say he has nothing.
No, that's why it's completely empty. The next one, salient Cumia point.
When have you called Cumia out? When have you said, like I would say? When have you said? When have you said to Cumia? When have you said to Cumia, Anthony, stop trashing the Jews? When have you said that to him?
Anthony Cumia.
When have you said that? Oh, now he's gonna have the fake laugh. That dumb, smug fake laugh.
Boom. Fake laugh, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, I think Cumia's a shithead. I kind of once I started looking a little more into his racial proclivities, I couldn't. I'm not going to co-sign on that shithead. But I will say this: Shuli is spineless. He has no moral compass. He has no fucking rudder. He would go on to if Cumia was there, lynching a soul brother, he would be fine with that. He'd be fine with anything as long as he got him more money. That's the one thing Shuli cares about: greed. That's about it. Doesn't give a fuck about his family. He just wants play. He wants sway. He wants money. Nope.
I'm in the same boat with you when it comes to Cumia. I liked him early on in the early years because you didn't know of his racist ways. Like, you didn't know early on, and then it started slowly but surely showing up, and then you saw the
culmination
with the shit with the media and all that stuff that on the coming in, and now with the compound media stuff and all that. I really got deterred with what the fuck he was talking about and what he was saying. But John is right here. It's like, how the fuck are you going to sit there and co-sign with what he's been spewing, especially with his beliefs about these different demographics, these races, and these and whatever. And he goes on the show, and all they sit there and coincide with is, it's all comedy. Listen, I'm the first one, and you will be the same, to say that, there's a certain level of comedy that that a lot of people would deem just jokes, but there's a certain level that also goes to where there's meanness and belief behind on what you're saying is real, and that's Cumia's his way of life these days.
Yeah, you can't. The whole point is, like, you can't ignore certain other aspects of Cumia's life and how he is, and then write it off as comedy when he's not being comedic. Like that video of him on Call of Duty and shouting out the N-word and stuff. That wasn't him trying to be funny. That was a racist rant.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah. And he, first of all, what's a 60-year-old playing Call of Duty? Maybe, I don't know, chess. Maybe,
Listen, I'm gonna be that guy who's 60-year-old video gaming, but
you're not 60 yet.
but I'm not gonna be that guy arguing with fucking like people 40, 50 years old younger than me and doing that same shit. There's a different thing about that. I don't know. It's we need to understand that there's a place of understanding where the comedy is coming from, or there's a place of where it's really coming from. And then with him, it's him masking the fact that his comedy is really from a belief of racism or where he's at.
Yeah.
What you're saying is, because I'm Jewish, I should be banned and not allowed to go on Anthony Cumia's comedy.
No, Shuli, he's saying, why are you ignoring anti-Semitism? Why are you going to an anti-Semite show and a racist show?
And helping a guy get money from his anti-Semite ways and know where he's from. Come on, stop.
Media.
Okay,
That's
so
what
let-
you're saying,
Yes.
anti-Semite?
In other words, he goofs on my trans kids, so I don't go on his show.
No, you said because I'm Jewish, I shouldn't be going on there.
Well, I have trans kids. He goofs on my trans kids.
Okay, but you're.
Well, I don't go on his show.
No, that's
Why
not.
would you go on?
That's
Why
not.
would you go on? Why would you go on a show where the host trashes Jewish people? Why?
Because it's my choice, John.
Yes.
What a lame answer. Because it's my choice.
You could have sat there and said, I don't believe on what he says.
Right.
I think that he comes from a different avenue of comedy. He doesn't believe that way of me. Whatever.
Come on. If he had gone on to Kumia's show and said, if you guys said, look, what'd you do it for? The money. You know, like, first of all, you're compounding a lot of people's existing stereotypes. Second of all,
I was gonna say would have been like that. It would have been alluding to the stereotypes that it came with it. Like, come on,
right? The ones we've all heard our entire lives, and don't co-sign on, but hear them still none the same. And that would have come off poorly. But then you've got, like, you know, there's no. What are you going to say? I don't believe he's really racist. I don't believe in his heart he really hates, you know, he has, what did Jimmy Carter say? I have this evil in my heart, or whatever it was. I lusted in my heart. He's a racist in his heart. Come on.
You know, we're not going to equate Kumia to Rickles. Like, stop it. We're not going to do that. It's not in the same realm. No, stop.
No. That was one of my favorite bits. He goes, I think it was it Flip Wilson? I think it was Flip Wilson, or no, it was Sammy Davis Jr. This is the great thing. We have a, you know, you're a black man, I'm a Jewish man. You know, you come and you live in my neighborhood, I'll live in your neighborhood, right, Sam? Yeah, right. Are you crazy?
I forgot who it was doing the roast that he comes. He says, you know, we all equal. We're the same man. You know, give me a kiss. Do I got black on my lips? Do I?
It was Sammy Davis Jr. I think he had just converted to Judaism at the time.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
Your choice, because
it's a free country. It's
about money. You don't care. You just want. You just want to kiss Anthony Cumia's pock-faced ass. You just want to kiss his ass.
Oh,
that's all you want to do because you're a coward.
Oh my God.
You're a fucking pussy coward.
This is not going well.
Of course.
No, it's not, Shuli. Thanks for that drop. He looks punch drunk.
No, because this is where the heart of what John should have gotten him early on with, which is the Kumia shit. And this right here would have been like the first round knockout.
Yeah.
There would have been no other like
there'd be no need for other ammunition.
There'd been no fight. There's no combat after this. If you would have just put this on the forefront and be like, why you on Kumia's show, knowing that he's an anti-Semite. All right, we're done. It's over.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
It's done.
Yep.
It's not, because you are a hypocrite and you've been a dick for 2 years. You thought I would fucking never go away, and I did. Guess what? Because I can do other things. You can't.
Next clip, guys. Answer the question, Mr. Egar. We're almost done.
Shuli, let me ask you a question.
Sure, buddy. One more, and then I got to go.
Let's say you weren't podcasting.
Yes, pal.
What would you do for a living?
I don't know. I do whatever support provides for my family.
I don't know. This is the second knockdown in the first round.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on.
Maybe you think the Budweiser slowed down the thought process to where you got to this point?
The Budweiser, the edible at the 150 milligram, maybe.
Right. The wet brain damage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know, John. I don't.
Of course, because you have no skill set. You realize that, right?
I wouldn't say that. I would say.
Well, then tell me what your skill set is.
For what? A job that I don't have? An imaginary job that
I thought you were a blackjack dealer.
Okay, I dealt. It's not a skill set. You learn it, and then you do it for a little while. And you move on.
Skill set, dummy.
What's a skill set, you fucking idiot?
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
You just sold yourself out to anything on your resume to say that I'm good at learning things on the fly or whatever. That's a skill set, dummy.
Yeah, and Shuli clearly not a any grad. He's a grad of Hack You. I mean, let's he's done a master's in shit comedy. And what's at the end of the day, you know, this is the whole point. You're getting schooled by this numbnuts.
Skill set. You worked on the Stern Show. I need to be a writer. I need to be a producer. I need to be a creator of content.
Yeah. Maybe sound editor, perhaps.
Editor. Being able to produce on video or audio content, whatever.
Yeah.
You were doing that. You were the one that did the whack pack, whatever the fuck. That's your content.
You also did these stupid fucking block parties and these concerts, and you were part of the promotion, and you were part of basically the people handling the books. So why don't you put that as a skill set? I had to organize, so you'd be like a planner, some type of event coordinator.
Right. So you just gave him a leeway to bash you by not giving any of those. You know what? Yeah, John's winning this one.
Yep.
That you know how to deal blackjack.
I'm not making a career out of blackjack.
Well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do after your podcast fucking career dies? It's on the way because everyone's turning on you.
Oh my God, they are.
What are you gonna do, dues payer?
They're turning on me?
Yes, everyone.
Why?
Is.
Why? Did I
Because you're unlikable. You're disloyal. And you're a leech.
I love this. He's kicking the corpse. The next one. Yeah, this next one, it's a long clip, but we're going to just try to play it through. Can anyone figure out why this is relevant? All right.
True or false that did you not beg Dan Filato to erase an Artie podcast where you made jokes about your kid in the podcast? True or false? Because I know I'm asking you this because I know the answer to it. So
I know.
Well, if you know the answer, just say it. Why are you asking him, you fucking dolt?
But I heard this clip, and apparently he doesn't. So
if you talk about you're an open book and you're always honest,
no, dickhead. I asked Dan Filato after when Artie was pummeling me and also brought my. What had nothing to do with my kid.
You didn't make jokes about your kid. On
No,
the podcast.
no, I would.
Did
no, you dumb fuck.
Dan's a liar. Dan's a liar. Dan's a
Tammy
liar.
Pescatelli.
I'm
Hey,
talking to you.
dues payer.
Yeah,
Hold on.
sure.
Yeah, don't even say anything. Just make. Do you want to hear the answer?
Listen to John and shut up. Yeah, go ahead.
Shut up, Shirley. Don't try
Tammy?
to.
Dad, listen to John and shut up.
No,
Go ahead.
you're trying to
Dad,
control.
shut up. John said shut up.
Shirley,
Listen to
shut
John.
the fuck up.
Oh, he's so bad at
Dad,
this.
Chad, is too late to try to get control of the show when it's off. It's just off the chain.
I was about to say, to be honest, let him roll. Just let it go. Just let
At
it
this
roll.
point, 100%.
shut up.
Dues
Go
payer.
ahead, John.
Shirley, I know your little manipulating move. Shut up. You're
Dues
bottom.
payer.
Chad,
Dues
don't
payer.
you dare put me on the bottom, Chad.
Dues payer.
Yes, John.
Tammy
I'm not a
Pescatelli.
pile-on guy. That's why. Go ahead.
Chad, you're interrupting.
He doesn't
Shut
want
up.
the answer.
Shut up, Shirley.
The best thing that Chad could have done on this was just let it rock and then do an after show, and he'd have probably got more views on it. But that's just me.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Shut
want
up.
the answer to this.
Go ahead.
Okay. Tammy
up,
Pescatelli
Chad.
was there, and she'll back me up. Every word I say here. After Artie was trashing me and on his heroin, fucking going nuts, bleeding from his nose, he started trashing me, and I didn't want to take it anymore. And I started making jokes, like not jokes. I just said, Artie, how did bleach taste and shit like that.
Okay, yeah, that's not a joke. There's nothing funny about it.
Yeah, exactly. He was right about that.
Yep.
And then, Artie took it, but, he wasn't happy. And then after Artie, Tammy was like, John, that was over the line. And my friend told me it was over the line. So I said, Dan, look, I love Artie. If I crossed the line, take it out. And then Dan said, but that'll take me a while to go, just take it out. That's what I asked him to take out. Then we were driving home, and I just text Dan, and Dan will back this up. I said, you know what? If it's too much work, then don't bother. So Artie made the choice to keep it in, not me. So you, again, are misinformed. You're a dumb fuck. You're a hack. And stop comparing your career to mine, because it's not the same.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it went out. It went out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
John, you wear your trans kid thing as a badge or shield or a reason to
or a weapon
to put out your agenda. Listen, like I said, I'm a parent, and if I had to go through all that, there's no reason that I would even use that as a like you said, a weapon to maybe put forth an agenda or my podcast or whatever the fuck. You would use that more to protect your kid more than anything. He's been using that as his way to put over that he's bigger than anything.
Yeah, and it's obnoxious.
Yeah, it's very obnoxious. If I was his kid, I'd be like, dude, like, Dad, stop. What the fuck are you doing? Stop.
Yeah, what John needs to do and what he always needed to do was just shut the fuck up about any of your kids, trans or otherwise. Just leave it the fuck alone, and no one will discuss it.
If there's one thing that he could have took from Wiggy was like, don't bring up your kids. Just leave it to where it is. That's it.
Right. And the next one, Shuli folds 5.
You're my bitch.
Sorry,
I'm taking you down.
I'm trying to listen to Chad ruin.
I'm putting you out of business, dues payer.
Put me out of business, pal. What are you gonna do? Teach my kids? Go ahead.
Oh, now you're goofing on my teaching career?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, why don't you apologize for that, Hack? Apologize for that. So being a teacher is not a respectable occupation?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He got fucked.
And the only thing that I coincide with what Shuli's saying is because when you fall on hard times, own it. Like it happens. You might be embarrassed. You gotta, you gotta know that this is what it was. He was driving for Uber or whatever the fuck is the other
grab cab or whatever it's called.
Grab. And then he found a gig with being a substitute teacher. So why not embrace it? He was embarrassed by it. Why do that? Levy recently had to do a Uber gig because he couldn't do stand-up because he had an illness that occurred.
Yeah.
So he embraced it. He took it. And
he owned it.
There's nothing wrong with that. People fall hard times, and it happens. But John was, so combative with people about it. There's nothing wrong with saying I'm helping to teach kids. The funny part is you're not that bright, but okay, but you got a gig doing it.
Well, Shuli's making fun of his profession. Meanwhile, at least it was a job. It took him off having to fucking podcast.
Right, exactly.
Right. So, and that's why, and he took it back immediately because he knew it sounded douchey.
Well, that is like, I'm teaching kids and you're going to sit there and bash me about it?
Right. You're not going to win that argument. And there's not an argument. And the last one, guys, is a real short clip. It's called Ken Patera. It's not short, but it's called Ken Patera Wept.
I like that. Truly, I expect a nice Venmo from you for providing you with a week's worth of material here.
I agree. Because all he can do is talk about me.
Hold on. Let me.
That's all he does is talk about me. You should be paying me, by the way.
I should?
Yes. All you do is talk about me.
You should be paying me. This was the same old stupid interview until I showed up. Both of you. Fuck you.
Oh, okay. There is the smug.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Julie, why won't you snipe Brennan? Why wouldn't you snipe Brennan? Why don't you snipe Brennan? Because you're afraid of him. That's why you came after me. Why won't you snipe Brennan?
Oh, Chad, I came after you because you made a comment saying that if it wasn't for John.
You're not answering the question, dude.
No. Keep it going. Yeah.
Being on Brennan's show that we couldn't beat your
Brennan always
I had to spank your little hind.
Brennan always trashed you.
That's all.
Brennan's
Well, no
constantly
respect for you.
trashing you. He has no respect for you. Brennan has
Nobody
zero respect for you.
does.
That's fine.
Nobody has respect for you.
Who cares what you two idiots
Howard doesn't even have respect for you, Shuli.
Chad can't even figure out how to make a single screen on here. You think I give a fuck what he thinks about me?
Yeah, I don't. Because you told your
that's
producers
a
not to work
barometer.
for me.
That's a barometer for being smart.
And it's okay for him to bring up family, and you're okay going on his show, but I can't go on Kumia's show because he brings up your kids. But Chad brings up people's families all the time. So
I've
you're
never seen it,
guilty.
Tuesday.
What have I said about
I've
your
never
family?
seen it.
Snipe Brennan on Monday.
I've never
Snipe
seen
Brennan
it.
on Monday.
Stuttering John Melendez.
Snipe Brennan
I've
on
never
Monday.
seen that.
Howard,
Here.
you won't go head to head with Brennan. You won't go head to head with
Man, this sounds like a podcast we know.
I was gonna say, I was like,
Flashback.
remember this?
Yeah, big time.
Brennan. You won't.
Shame on you.
You will never do it.
Enemies.
Shame on
The
you.
winger enemies. Winger enemies.
I will see you in
Goal.
the ring. I will see you in the ring.
Yeah.
I
Good.
haven't heard the last of
Good.
it.
Good.
You
good.
want more of this? Monday night. Monday night.
You want more of this? More of what? Silence? Idiocy?
He could have really buried John for everything, but he came in this here. I don't know. It was maybe he was enticed for a bigger payoff because they're trying to look for a fight or a boxing match. Do you think that could have been a
No, that boxing match was all bullshit. That's what John would go if he didn't get his order right at Burger King. He'd threaten the fucking clerk with the worker with I'll box you for that Whopper Junior.
but why do this? You look really bad. You've already said that the numbers on the Shuli Network are dropping.
Well, they are
day. So why do this?
His Patreon, just to give you guys an idea, actually, we talked a little bit about it. When at the beginning of every month, for those of you who aren't content creators on using Patreon for that matter, what happens at the beginning of every month, typically the claims come in, and so like credit cards get charged, debit cards, whatever people are using to pay for their credit, for their Patreon subscriptions. And there's a rollover, and then the numbers go down because there's always like, I don't know, a certain percentage of cards that decline, they've expired, and then that person realized, I can't access anything. And I used to get a bunch of messages, hey, Fillmore, what's going on? I can't hear the show. check your card. The date's probably wrong. And they sort it out, and eventually they figure it out. And then the numbers go back up. So his numbers went suddenly, like this month, for example, from 663 to 633. And then I go, okay, we'll allow for this, and let's see how far they go back up. I checked today; they're up to 640. So some numbers may be coming back in. It's the way Patreon calculates these things throughout the month. Because some people, it's you get paid. They pay on the 5th of the month. Then the following month, you've made it. Hopefully for your Patreon patrons, that it just goes from month to month, because the shitty thing that Patreon was doing was they would charge you for the beginning of the month, and then if you are a new sub and you subbed on like the 29th of the month, you get charged for the previous month and then for the next month right away. I mean, ultimately they're not doing anything illegal, but I would always have people, once they made it possible, I made it so that people could start on whatever date and get charged the same date on the next month, so you're not getting double dipped and fucked with. But either way, his numbers are not going back up. Shuli went into this thinking, I'm smart enough, I'm charismatic enough, I'm funny enough I can handle anything thrown at me, and that was his hubris.
And people like me.
He's got this delusion that kept him alive, because otherwise he would have committed suicide a long time ago if he knew the hate that's out there for him.
No one gives a fuck. They don't care. They don't care anymore.
Yeah, it was always going to run its course. Also, when Shuli decides I'm going to make this 3 days a week or 4 days a week, like it went from being 1 or 2 shows possibly. Then he decided we're going to make more money by doing more shows, and people got sick of it. The reason why our show can still continue is because we started from the beginning saying we're going to do Howard content, but Howard content is a lot. There's a lot of decades, a lot of specific eras, the specific characters, guests, interviews, mishaps, fuck-ups, wrap-up shows when they come in, Friday shows, location shows, and then his movies, his books. There's all kinds of material. Shuli decided, I'm going to have a podcast about myself. Crickets. I'm going to have, like some Stern Show guests in, like some like Howard TV guys in. 5, 6, 7,000 hits. And then, guys, next show I'm going to talk about myself. 500.
Well, what happened afterwards was that a lot of these guys, a lot of these podcasters, they were doing this, jumping on the bandwagon, and they end up having anti shows about it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I look forward to someone having an anti-Jay Santee podcast.
It's more play.
Exactly. So I'm like, all right, cool. But they didn't expect that Shuli Anonymous. What? They didn't know that this was going to happen.
No, they had no way of knowing that. And he was unaware because he's not aware. He's just not aware of how he's perceived by most people. And like I said, that's keeping him going. We'll play the last bit and then we'll wrap this one up.
Uncle Rico, I'll see you there.
You better train, you dumb fuck.
Bitch.
Yeah, you'll see. You're going to go out in the first round.
Oh, look at you
flinch.
flinch.
Go ahead, Deuce
Look
Paya.
at you flinch, you
Go ahead, Deuce Paya.
pussy.
I'm not flinching, Deuce Paya. I don't flinch, Deuce Paya.
You're scared.
Deuce Paya, I'm not
Let me see your muscle. Take off your shirt. Take off your shirt.
Yeah. Take off my shirt.
Take off
you
your
want
shirt.
to see my shirt off?
Yeah, take your
what
shirt
the hell
off.
just happened, Chad?
All I'm thinking now is, I can take pain. I am so upset.
When I first heard this, I was like, what the fuck just happened here? Where did this turn to?
This is a shit promo gone wrong.
Exactly. This is where wrestling has gone wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's going on here?
Let's see your physique, tough
That's
guy.
I'll
take my shirt off. You go.
Deuce
Let's
Paya.
go.
Chad, what's going on? Deuce Paya wants
Let's
to see
go.
my physique.
Let's go, tough
yeah.
guy. Come on.
Chad, the Deuce
That's
Paya
what I
wants
thought,
to see my
pussy.
physique. I don't
That's what I
understand.
thought, pussy.
I don't understand.
Pussy.
Why you show? I'll tell you what. I'll show you mine. Show me yours. Go ahead.
Hey, come over to the Shuli Network. Where
Take off your shirt, Deuce Paya.
Fuck you, pussy. And Chad.
Run away, run away.
Okay, so come to the Shuli Network, give me more content for nothing, and also where I have my minions to protect me, like Howard.
Yeah, they would have been the one to have the better background or content or information so they can go back and forth with.
Pathetic.
If it was just him back and forth, I would have agreed with that. But after this, why would anybody go that way? Because you'd have had Mike Morse, you'd have had fucking Levy and him to berate him. Why would he? And to be honest with you, I think he would have beat them all.
Stuttering John has energy for days to argue.
And I think he would have beat them all.
Yeah, most likely. Anyway, guys, we hope you've enjoyed this one. Thank you to Mr. Jay Santee for helping out with this one. It's a last-minute thing. I'm going to try to get this out ASAP. It's not part of our regular lineup, so it's going to be on a weird day when it comes out. It'll be on Podbean, Spotify, all the the usual Player FM, TuneIn, all those things. So we hope you've enjoyed it, and if you do enjoy it, check us all out on our Patreon stuff. And like I said, the Black Kluge tier or higher, if you really feel generous, will get you everything, including a swath of episodes early on that are only available at that tier or higher. They're locked down otherwise if you're at one of the cheapy Gilbert Gottfried tiers. So at any rate, if you want to plug the podcast, my friend.
Jay Santee, Turnbuckle Tabloid, all podcasting outlets and all the social media outlets. And gotta thank you guys for being a part of QF. You guys are awesome. And especially for this episode, if you want to sit down and listen to this, then you guys are the faithful. And I love you guys. And gotta give much love for Phil Moore for everything that we've been doing. Thank you guys.
Cheers, guys. And also, everybody, cheers to Shuli's Anonymous and all the contributors there who helped out with this. We love you. Take care.
That's expression.
I care about the right to shove an eel up a girl's vagina.
Yeah, in China, they can't videotape a woman getting shot up. Coyote fucking. That's what we have. Why did we fight the Revolutionary War? I think it's obvious. So a woman can fuck a moose. In the pages of Oslo. England under King George never had moose fucking. What do we do?